What's up, guys? It's another episode of Off the Post. I'm your host, DJ Red Cap Fred Durst, and we have another panel with us. I'm sorry, I always say that. Yeah, brother. We have a few panelists with us today. You guys will check it out and see who they are. Well, first we'll start with Aurelio, the people that you do know. Aurelio, how are you doing today?
Hey there, guys. What's up?
What you been up to, man?
Not much, just relaxing, watching games.
Oh, okay, all right. Sierra, you guys all know her. What have you been up to, Sierra?
Nothing much, just sitting at home.
Oh, it sounds so exciting right now, this panel. And girls, tell them who you are. Haley, Stephanie, tell them who you are, what you do, what you like to do with yourself in life.
I'm Stephanie. I'm trying to think of like cool stuff I do, but there's not. I play soccer. Well, I used to until I got hurt. Yeah, I don't know. I'm from San Diego, California. Love the beach, even though there's not very good ones in Houston.
And Haley, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself, something a little bit happy?
Yeah, so I'm Haley Carter, and I'm one of the goalkeepers for the Dash. We have a couple. There's a handful. A menagerie.
There's a union.
No, there's a union.
All right. Well, guys, you know how we always do this. If you want to send us some questions during the show, you just use the hashtag WOSO off the post or WOSO talk, whatever you use. I don't know. I'll answer either way. Either way, you can put DJ in there. I'll check it out and I'll say hello. Hey, how you doing? Other than that, guys, I guess we should just jump right into it. We'll start with the NWSL action first. Talk about what happened, some of the teams and stuff, and then we'll talk about the Houston Dash stuff because that's what most of you probably are here waiting for anyway, right? Right? Yeah. You know, it's so quiet. I'm getting scared right now. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay, so what are we talking about first? The Boston Breakers versus Sky Blue, because that was the first game of the week. As you know, the fans chose Sky Blue for me, and I've been mad ever since. So let's get into it. Hey, there goes Luke. What's up?
Hey,
Hey, Luke, introduce yourself again, everybody. How you been doing, Luke?
I'm okay. Sorry, I've been rushing around. I'm munching on a cheese sandwich right now because I've been rushing around for the last 2 hours. I'm so sorry. I'm late. I am Luke. I'm from London originally. I've lived in sunny California for the last 20 years.
Woo!
I know, woo. Long Beach. Snoop Dogg is my neighbor.
Hashtag
He's
woo.
not really my neighbor.
He's not.
He's not. Let's see what else. I'm a West Ham United fan. I'm a Portland Thorns fan. So as I told Dee, I almost didn't want to come on today because I'm in mourning.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're gonna get into that shortly. I hope.
No, I don't want to get into that.
And you're a West Ham fan too, man. You've just been rough all season, haven't you?
Just been terrible, terrible.
Forever blowing bubbles, West Ham United. All right. So where were we anyway? I think we were talking about Boston before this show just blew all up in my face. We'll go with you. Well, Luke's eating, so we won't go with you, Luke. We'll go with you, Aurelio. How did Boston look this week to you?
Yeah, I think it was a close game. The teams didn't create many chances. Cameron saved Sky Blue from losing, and that goal by Katie Free was just beauty.
Yeah, she keeps saying Sky Blue.
I think it was a fair result overall.
You said it was a fair result. Yeah, for the most part. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, it did look about it pretty
Close
even.
game.
For the most part. Let's go with you, Sierra. What do you think of Sky Blue actually this time around? They've been struggling a bit, haven't they?
Yeah, I think that they deserve the win they got, but I'm surprised it didn't turn out differently because I guess Breakers are just not in it when it comes to their finishing. They had a lot of shots, but they weren't always on goal. pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was weird because, like I said, it did come down to really like a sky blue, just their one was all the chance she got, she didn't really take them, and I noticed her dropping back into the midfield a lot. Actually, that game too, it's like she really wanted to touch the ball more because she hasn't getting the service she needed. Luke, are you done for cheese sandwich?
Not quite, but I'm ready to talk.
Okay, all right. Luke, tell us what you thought of the Boston Breakers and Sky Blue game.
I actually really like Boston this year. I thought the first game against the Thorns, they looked a little nervous, a little raw, but I think every game they've been building up, and I think Stephanie McCaffrey has obviously become a sort of a star this season. They got some nice new D. Sky Blue for me has been disappointment. I love Katie Friels is one of my favorite players, and never give her that much space. It's crazy to back off and give her. I don't know how much space she had, like 5 feet to like look up and basically pick a spot. Because we've seen her do that in the past 2 seasons, hit those goals from long range. But otherwise, I feel like Sky Blue has really underperformed. So I would have actually picked Boston to win that game, and I was disappointed that they didn't.
And Haley and Stephanie, whatever you got to see of the game, what have you thought of Boston and Sky Blue so far?
We didn't watch that specific game, but I think overall,
To be fair, we wound up watching the games on like game tape.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The week following, so I'll be honest, we really are concerned about our team, and then we watch the rest of the games the week after they occur, and then break things down. So
Okay.
but I will say that about Boston's performance, Boston at home has been pretty solid. I think their win against Portland was huge. Obviously, their win against us sucked for us, but there were a lot of mistakes that we made in that game. But I think at home, they're playing well. I would say for them to hold Portland to a 1-0 is pretty solid.
Yeah, I've definitely been pleasantly surprised with Boston this year. I think they've been doing a lot better, and it's kind of cool to see because they don't have a ton of big name players, but they're kind of just gritty and have been getting stuff done, which is awesome for them.
Yeah, you're right. Like I said, it's not like a ton of big name players. That's one thing why I don't think a lot of people probably have paid them much attention this year. But with players like McCaffrey, like I said, she looks like a future star. How she's been out there playing.
Solid.
And Mui has stepped up this year. I think she's maybe got a point to prove too. Like several of the players who didn't maybe make the World Cup squad, they're really trying to show something.
Yeah.
Right. And then also, it's the one defender, I think her name's King, her last name. She looks good so far, actually, for Boston, I believe. So it's like they have players there that have looked pretty good throughout the year. It's just, like I said, I think it's going to be tough. They're going to be a tough team all season. They might not have the record to show like some of the other teams will, but they'll be solid and real hard to beat all year round. So
Yeah.
it was good watching them. It was real good. Moving. Also about Sky Blue. You know what? I've been on here crying about Sky Blue. I don't understand why you fans chose this team for me. You know.
Well, I told you to choose the Dash and you didn't, so it's your fault.
Yeah, I agree. It's my fault. It's my fault. I should.
I even believe I told you that I needed to pay my bills, so you needed to support the Dash. I think that's
she did say that too, and I should have listened to her because now I feel bad. I almost want to pay any of your little gas and heat bills to become a Dash fan because now I'm not really appreciating this right now, Sky Blue. So I'm really considering changing on you. So you better pick up a few W's, or you might see me in orange and blue pretty soon. But moving forward.
Okay.
The Sky Blue is orange and blue.
All right, I appreciate it. Moving forward, let's talk about the Flash and Spirit. Now, this was actually a real fun game to watch too, because Flash are another one of those young teams that a lot of people probably have written off, and the Spirit are one of those teams that have been playing everyone well. Let's start with you, Luke, and what have you thought of the Spirit so far and how they looked in this game?
Oh, I wanted to talk about the Flash. Can I talk about
the
Flash?
Fine. You can do whatever you want.
Thank you so much, sir. I love the Flash this year. Becky Edwards has been one of my favorite players for years, and obviously buying her jersey the first season meant that she left the club, of course, after getting injured, so that was a disappointment. But her, Sam Lewis, Dahlkemper, they got some great pieces. All those fast forwards, Jasmine Spencer, Williams from Pepperdine, Robin Williams, and I just love them. I'm glad they're getting results now because I think they've got a lot of potential. And 3-2 at home against the Spirit is a great result for that team.
Yeah, that actually was a really good result against the Spirit, who's been playing well actually the whole season. Really, what have you thought of the Spirit so far?
Spirit been doing good. I didn't expect them to do that well. In this game, it was a very interesting game to watch. Both teams worried about attacking, creating chances to score. Could have seen more goals actually. And about the Flash, I didn't expect them to win this game. I thought it'd be rough, tougher for them to get some points.
And looks like Sierra's gone, so we'll go to you, Haley and Stephanie. What have you thought of the Flash so far this season, and then the Spirit?
I mean, I thought the game last night, I caught highlights of the game last night. I thought it was pretty solid. Ashley Nick, obviously, is a good pickup from them. Sad to see her leave our club, but I think that situation is going to work out really well for her, and I know she's happy. And she's a solid pickup for them as a holding midfielder. So, I think that's great. Obviously, they got the win against us. We haven't played them yet? Are you sure? I thought we played them at home. That was Washington. And we beat Washington.
A little out of it right now.
Maybe it was I was talking to Becky about. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I was talking to Becky Edwards because they come June 20th, and that is the day before my birthday. So she promised that we would go out after the game, regardless of the result.
I think the Flash kind of had a bit of a rough start to the season, and it was interesting to see in the off season they were making a lot of trades, and a lot of them were for younger players, and they were getting a lot of draft picks and stuff like that, and so I think a lot of them are still working into it and getting their feet, but I think they obviously show that they're getting better, and especially beating a team like DC who's been pretty decent. So yeah,
they definitely got a lot of flack in the off season for it being a rebuilding year.
Mm-hmm.
Trading away a lot of solid players. Obviously they got Becky and Witt, but I think they're doing well so far. That was a good game.
And Sierra, what did you think of that game?
I didn't catch that game because I was out last night, but I heard that it was kind of even considering both sides, just throughout the game as a whole. And then season-wise, I think that the Spirit are going to have an advantage over a lot of teams because they got to keep Crystal Dunn, and they're obviously going to have an advantage, and Crystal's going to have a point to prove with not getting the national team call-up that she obviously wanted. And then the Flash are losing a lot with losing Sydney Leroux, and that was going to be a really good connection with Sid and Mewis at midfield, and they have solid defenders, and they're just kind of in that rebuilding process, like you said, just kind of connecting all the weak links and building that up.
Yeah, they've the Flash. I've like I said, it was a lot of decent moves they made, but some of the players they have in there are just drafted. Like Lynn Williams, like you were saying, Luke. She looked amazing on that one run she did where she just cut through pretty much everyone and scored. And with Mewis, she's perfect for their team because it gives them a good target for a lot of Edmonds' balls that she crosses in. And Edmonds a great crosser of the ball. I've noticed. It seems like lately. I always tell people to pay more attention to her. And Spencer, she just keeps running the whole game. But as for with the Spirit, like you were saying, Dunn, it seems like a lot of times they kept trying to play the ball through her. She was just outrunning the whole team herself, and she just didn't have a lot of support. But she still was making something positive happen every time she was on the ball. So both of these teams, I think, are going to be fun to watch for the whole season. And I really started to like the Flash more, even though the Flash fans got mad at me for saying their team would end up in about 6 or 7 plays. So I remember that, Flash fans, but sometimes things happen. But other than that, the Flash have been fun to watch. And the Spirit, like I said, have been a surprise, but a good surprise. And I could see them actually pushing for a playoff spot if they continue. Now we can talk about the rain game, which was a bit of a mess because I fell asleep and then woke up and the game was playing. The Kansas City versus the Chicago Red Stars. I think everyone wanted to see this because Chicago's doing so good, and everyone considers Kansas City one of the better teams in the league. We'll start with you, Sierra. What did you think of the Kansas City versus Chicago Red Stars game?
I didn't actually watch it, but I think that Chicago, they played really well. They played till the end of the game. I was looking through the updates on Twitter and everything, but I thought that FCKC would play a little better than they did. I thought, but they've been a little weak ever since they lost their national team players, and I think even a little bit before that. And there were some players that just weren't in the game that night, I guess, and Chicago ended up being the ones that had the advantage over that.
Let's go with Haley and Stephanie. What have you thought of Kansas City and Chicago so far this year?
I've been saying since the first week that I think Chicago is going to be the team to beat this year. I mean, they're already starting to pull away in the standings, and even with their national team players out, they have some solid players. So I think their possession is awesome. As far as Kansas City is concerned, like I would tend to agree that I think they got sort of a slow start to the season. You know, and you know, obviously they played us pretty well, but yeah, I think Chicago is going to continue to be the team to beat for sure. We were pretty upset that we blew a 2-0 lead, but the second half was kind of rough for us that game. You know, but I think every game going into Chicago, I think anyone can beat them, but they're like Sierra said, they play the entire game. They play until the very end. So they definitely have some grit and creativity and a nose for the goal. You know, they make things happen. I mean, even with like Kristen Perez, when they played Seattle, I mean, she like had a clinical finish like in stoppage time. I mean, they just have a way to win games. So that's going to make them tough to beat this season.
Yeah, and they keep, like Katie said, they keep fighting till the end, and you know that's one of the hardest things about playing is you think, just like in our game, we were up 2-0 and like we're comfortable, thought we were gonna win the game, and just when you least expect it, they get another surge of energy and just come back at you, and you know won't go down without a fight. So I think that's really commendable about them is they're just a very gritty team and you know have proved a lot this year so far.
Yeah, I remember when watching that game, like you were saying, Haley, about Chicago being a possession team. It was a fun game, I think, between you and them because you guys play so fast, Houston, and Chicago wants to just play a lot of possession. So I was wondering which style was really going to win overall. And I really thought when I was like, maybe if they can hold possession on them long enough, they can just hold it out and win, or maybe if they counterattack them a lot and they win. But it was really amazing to see.
Yeah, I think it was an open game. Anything could have scored first. That was well done in the set pieces for both teams to score. The second half, KC put a lot of pressure to get us the first goal. They could have scored a couple goals more maybe, but they didn't, and they were punished at the end of the game. They could have they could have got the 3 points, but unfortunately they didn't. And Sofia Huerta scoring again. She's in great form. Unfortunately for the day, she's in great form.
Yeah, she's been absolutely amazing this year. I didn't see that coming, actually. I was expecting more, I would say, of Jin Hoy to step up, but Huerta she's been just amazing for him while Press has been going. Luke, what have you thought of Kansas City and Chicago?
Yeah, I'm amazed at Huerta too because I'm a Cal Bears fan, and in her final year of college, I thought we kind of kept Sofia Huerta under control pretty well the 3 times we played, 2 or 3 times we played Santa Clara, and suddenly she arrives in the NWSL and she explodes. So I'm really happy for her. It's the strange thing about that game to me was that it could have produced so many goals. I think Sarah Hagan alone missed probably 3 or 4 great opportunities. She just kept getting free and kept like just sliding it past the posts, and all 3 goals in the end came from corner kicks, which is kind of I don't know. I always find that a little depressing. I like that. Beautiful goals, you know, beautifully worked, blah blah blah. You know, they're all a little messy in the end, but yeah, as you guys are saying, Chicago are just tough, and I think they're also kind of flexible because you know they are possession based, but when they played the Thorns, they play counterattack. They because we are this year trying to be much more possession, and they did very well with these fast balls forward for Press to run onto or Hoy to run onto. So I think they got that ability to shift around a little bit and play in the best way that negates their opponents, which kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, as you were saying, though, with those certain goals, they'll be in the corners. It was kind of messy because I didn't expect Lapel, but of all people, to get like a head on
that
something.
Was a nice header, though, right? It was a nice header.
Yeah, I liked it. But, well, I'm shocked you actually liked it. That's good. I'm glad you actually appreciate it, you know? But, yeah, it was all, but the rain and stuff, I was just like, my goodness. I kept fearing someone was going to slip and get hurt or something, but thank goodness that's over. I'm glad that, well, I guess I'm glad Chicago won because, well, not really, no. No, I'm not happy they won, actually. Sky Blue win a game. Okay, let's moving on. Portland Thorns versus Houston Dash. This is the game we've all been waiting for. Someone.
Sorry, we don't know what happened.
I was like, I said something. Man, I was confused. All right, Rulio, let's start with that Thorns game. What did you think of the Thorns?
That game, both teams' defense were really good. I think they stopped the attack very well. Hopefully, thankfully, they didn't stop McDonald from scoring. Not real chances before. I think Henninger did like 2 or 3 saves, that brilliant saves.
Yes,
and then we scored. It's good to see Ohio doing not just scoring but passing too. She's in the wing, and that goal helped to calm things a little bit. We didn't have many real chances in the second half, but we managed to hold on and get out the 3 points that were very important.
And I guess we will move to Sierra now. What did you think of that game?
I thought that Houston did an awesome job. I think that McDonald is definitely a player to watch.
It's like a mouth.
McDonald
Come
is
back
just not gonna come back.
Getting more cheese.
Getting more cheese. Oh boy. Continue, Sierra.
She's just like a player to watch for me. She did awesome with the Thorns, and I think it was kind of surprising that she got traded to the Dash. But she's definitely like a game changer. And Houston, they played till the end. They had 5 players in the back line at the end, and they made some defensive changes, which was good for them because they held on to their lead.
Yeah, defensively, Houston in that game, I felt like Ella Massar had one of her best games of the season back there in defense. She was absolutely amazing, and then Nikki Cross, she actually had a great game too.
I'm so surprised.
Haley and Stephanie.
She actually had a good game.
Haley and Stephanie, what did you guys think of Houston Dash and Portland?
I want to hear Luke's opinion first.
Luke.
I will give a totally fair and unbiased opinion, so I want to hear Luke's opinion first.
No, I'm very level now. Yesterday I was in mourning. Today I'm fine. you know, it's one of those incredibly frustrating games to watch if you're a fan of the team when you're passing it around well, you're defending. Apart from that one, I mean, amazing goal.
Yeah.
Ohai really put it on the money, and Jess's finish was awesome. So you can't complain about that. I didn't think we created as many quality chances as the stats kind of show. The stats say we had like 15, 20 shots.
Yeah.
But really only 3 or 4 of them are any good. And even of those, they were mostly straight at Henninger, who had a great game. So I was frustrated that we didn't really have that killer final attack that we've been missing. Frankly, we've been missing since the first game. Coincidentally, when Alex Morgan played her last game for us this season. But, you know, props to Houston. They played really, really well, and we love Jess. I'm really happy to see Jess score. Half the Thorns fans I spoke to yesterday were saying, oh, the Thorns deserved it for trading her. But that's the way sports work.
Life. Yeah,
People get traded, you know? That just happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, no. What am I going to do?
I thought you were going to like go off on him. All right. Hey,
No, just angry. You know, that's good.
All right, you guys can go. What did you guys think of Houston and Portland?
I think, like you guys were saying, we did well defensively. I still think we need to work on our attack a bit. Yes, we won and scored an amazing goal, and I think that was great. But I think we're very reliant on a counterattack, and that's like one of our favorite things to do. And you know, I have respect for a team like Portland who can possess the ball and really create things through that. And I think that's something we can work on more. And as I'm sure Haley's going to say, I think Bianca helped us a lot and saved our butts because she made so many good saves. And, you know, the Thorns were in really good positions. And, I mean, fortunately hit it, like you said, like at her or like pretty close. And, you know, I think we were fortunate in that regard. But I don't know. I think Ella had an amazing game. Like, she was working her tail off. And, you know, I think we put more of a priority on defense and sitting in a bit, and then, you know, when we have the ball, breaking out and attacking quickly. But of course we're happy to win. But I mean, I think we still have stuff to work on, and you know, I don't think Portland had a bad game. I think they, you know, did well and possessed the ball well. They just, I don't know, maybe the finishing portion was a bit rough.
Yeah.
But I mean, we didn't have like a ton of chances either, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought, you know, I can tell you that going into the game, Allie Long was our #1 priority to try and shut down. I feel like right now for Portland, if you can shut Allie Long down, your chances of winning a game are significantly increased. And she always plays a great game. I mean, she's a really consistent player. And then, of course, Bianca, I actually texted the team last night on our first touch, being like, if you guys are not worshiping the ground that she walks on tonight, we're friends. So, you know, it's the union thing. But, yeah, she played phenomenally last night. And I think one of the biggest issues that I saw from our side, you know, we were stringing a lot more passes together. I thought our possession was better than against Chicago the second half, which is not saying a whole lot. But it's like what Steph was saying. I think the big thing that we really need to work on is possessing the ball. We're always going, and we're less patient. But the one thing I thought we did really well last night, especially in the first half, was team defending. We were pressuring really high, and we were pressuring as a team, so there weren't that many gaps between our forward and midfield lines. That helped out quite a bit. I think that was really the first time I think I've seen effective team defending for an extended period of time. I thought the first 20 minutes of the game we did really well. And then, of course, as the game went on, like, we started pressuring a little bit lower, and it was like our line of confrontation was like midfield. But yeah, it was nice to see us, you know, kind of hold on to it. And of course, Jess and Kaylee's goal was sick. We do this drill. It's called the box cross drill, and that's exactly what the drill is. And for goalkeepers, we hate it because it's not really good for your self-esteem. but we do that a lot. So that finish is something that it happens probably once a week in training. So
and Jess is so good at that run.
Yeah,
I think that's her number one. She'll kind of pull out of it and then make that darting run inside, and I think that works so well for her.
Tony Presley obviously was a good pickup for us last night, or last week, 2 weeks ago. How long ago was it? 10 days ago, however long ago. But, she's doing really well. She's really versatile. It's great to have a left-footed player, like predominantly left-footed, naturally left-footed, that can play along the left side, either at center back or outside back. And she can serve some beautiful balls in. And then not to mention, like, her height between her and Jess McDonald and Nikki Cross. I'm pretty sure, like, on average, we've got to have the tallest team in the league. We have to. So the fact that we're not scoring more goals off of set pieces blows my mind a little bit. But, we've got some serious size that we need to take advantage of for sure.
Good. Yeah, I like I said, how you were talking about how you guys play. I mean, I like it, I guess, but I can understand you guys wanting to play a bunch of different styles. I love to see a team just take off.
Well, it's tiring. The biggest issue is it's really tiring. And Chicago, I don't know if you guys saw the press conference or any of the comments that came from Randy, but one of the questions that had come out, the comments that had come out was about fitness, and we just decided amongst ourselves that if we keep giving the ball away, we can't run for 90 minutes. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a women's soccer team, or a men's soccer team for that matter, that can just run for 90 minutes. So we have to be better about keeping the ball. We have to do a better job of making the ball do the work.
I think we get excited because we know we have fast forwards, so if you ever have a doubt that the ball's going to get there, you're just like, they're really fast up there, so I'm just going to launch it. Go ahead. I've thought that a few times, like playing center back. I was like, I don't see a pass right in front of me.
I'll just go to Kalia.
Get on your horse.
It's a good advantage. It's a good advantage to have, though. That's a real good advantage to have.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you ended up Houston won that, guys. Like I said, their defense played really well. It was like I said, it really was a nice little defensive effort by the whole team in general. And they kept praising Henninger the whole game. They kept talking about her height the whole game too, saying she's 5'4". And I kept trying to think of it like.
That's not true. We don't lie in our media guide. I'm genuinely 5'9", and she's genuinely 5'6".
Okay. Because I kept trying to.
4.5. She's 5'6".
They were just trying to really just push that on us, and I'm just
and honestly, she's a really tall 5'6". So.
She's a tall 5'6". So what's a short 5'6"? I'm trying to imagine right now. So confused with my life right now, and I'm trying to figure that one out. But nonetheless, one thing I also liked about that game is how they said McDonald had to be tickled to death after scoring against Portland. So that was a good, nice little thing with those lovely Portland announcers. Moving forward, guys. What's that, Luke?
Angie, the main announcer, she's got a colorful way with language, and she does make little errors at times. She will say things just in the haste of the moment because she gets so excited about the game. So she probably got the 5'4" thing completely wrong.
She said Houston Thorns.
Yeah.
Times. I was like, girl.
I'm sure she's a very lovely lady.
That was one thing I caught too. She said the Houston Thorns. I was like, oh, someone has to say it on air. That was too funny. All right, but moving forward, guys, Saturday, May 30th, the Spirit take on the Thorns. That should be a real exciting game to watch. Breakers take on FC Kansas City. Reign take on Chicago Red Stars. And my Sky Blue, well, my former Sky Blue, takes on my Houston Dash. Yeah. Oh, I'm so horrible. All right, guys. So let's jump into the spotlight now. You know how this goes. I usually tell you a little bit of the history of the club. Luckily, this is an expansion club, so it's very short history. And then we'll jump into the spotlight. Dash history. On November 19, 2013, the Houston Dynamo began talks in the initial stages with the intention of bringing a top-flight women's professional soccer franchise to Houston. Just a week later, the effort was bolstered by the Dynamo began accepting refundable deposits for a potential NWSL expansion team. On December 11, 2013, the National Women's Soccer League awarded the Houston Dynamo and the City of Houston an expansion franchise. And that is all. So let's jump right into the Dash Spotlight. I love it. I love it. It's short, it's sweet, no more, no less. Next week's going to suck a little bit with Boston, but we'll talk about that later. Team's overall performance last year, as we know, it was an expansion side, and usually expansion teams struggle a bit. They were 5-13-3. They were 19th in the league. Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't have to
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sarah, what did you think of Houston first season in the league?
I mean, obviously it's going to be kind of hard for any season or any team to really have a good first season because everybody's just kind of thrown in there at once to fight to the death, basically. It's kind of, there's just so many things to figure out as who's going to play where and what role they're going to have in that position. So I think that, I mean, I was personally pretty mad whenever the Dash came to be because like the NWSL has folded previously because of like money, and expanding quickly is obviously going to play a huge role in that. But I think that this season is going to be way different. I mean, it already has been so far, and I feel like the Dash are going to keep getting better as they play.
Was that it? Did you stop? I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
didn't know.
I'm good.
Okay. I was like, I thought you were about to put like a period at the end of that sentence or something. Okay, Luke, continue. There you go.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be at the first ever Dash game against the Thorns last season, and it was awesome.
That was a great
I
game.
immediately felt very warm about the team. The setup seemed great. You got a great management team. Randy Waldrum is just one of the great coaches. So you had some great pieces in place, but at the same time, the way the team was set up, I thought the expansion draft was a little odd. I don't know if they created those rules just for this particular time or what, but all things considered, the team did pretty well. I mean, it's a 9-team league, and 8 of the teams have been playing before. You didn't even have one other expansion team to kind of be with you. The progress seems to be like when you have a good coach in there, it's going to take at least 1 year for the coach to get his or her ideas about how they're like. You saw that with Seattle's coach, who's an amazing coach, but the first year they were all over the place. And I think Randy this year I think he's kind of worked out the way he's going to play with his way of playing and his players. And I think maybe to some extent Riley has too with the Thorns. So I think it's only going to get better for Houston. Apart from the humidity, you need to change that a little bit. Can't deal with the humidity.
Oh gosh,
Yeah, it's sick.
it's not fun, guys.
It's not fun. Aurelio, you would know about humidity being in Brazil. What did you think?
It was nice to have Dash in the league. It was the first team I actually felt a connection with. And the first season was kind of disappointing as a fan, but expected too. I mean, it's not easy to come to a league where all teams are settled and try to succeed at first. It's really hard. But overall, they did a good job, and I hope they can do better and, like we predicted, win the league this year.
Yeah, you did predict that. That is true. You did. I'll give you that. All right. Haley and Stephanie, what did you think of the Dash's first season?
Well, I think you guys are being very nice about it. It's harder to be. Man. I think it was tough because all the factors that came into play, I think it was hard for us to find an identity as a team, and I think we struggled with that all season, and it was tough because we would change our lineup almost every game. I remember there would be different back lines almost every game, and it was just like, I don't know, off the field, we all got along so well, but on the field, I feel like we struggled to really find that cohesion and, really find our identity and, figure out what type of style we wanted to play. And that's the hard part when you have players from all different walks of life, have had all different experiences, and you got to try to bring them together. And I don't know, it was frustrating, I think, because I know we had a lot of talent. It was just trying to get it all to mesh well together, and you would see moments of brilliance, and we'd be in games and feel like we were going to win, and then it wouldn't happen, and that was frustrating. But I think we learned a lot, and this year I think has been good so far. I mean, we've had a few games that I think we could have come away with 3 points instead of just one, or instead of losing. But I mean, overall, I think it's improved a little bit, so it's good.
Yep. Some stats from. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Haley.
Oh no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say, like you said, where you're talking about defense of all the changes. Yeah, some of those stats from last season. It was you guys scored with 23 goals scored, but it was like 44 goals allowed. So all those changes probably didn't hurt with consistency and stuff like that.
So I liken last season to, this might be a little inappropriate, but I liken last season to, like, when you're in a bar and you see a girl and she's not very attractive at all, but she has a really nice personality.
Yeah.
That's what we did last season. We were not getting results, but we had a lot of fun. We had a great personality.
We had a great personality.
I laugh about it, but it's totally true. It was really frustrating losing. But when a lot of teams are getting results like that, you're not going to see the kind of response that we had. I mean, when things were negative there for a while, everybody was still trying to stay positive. Nobody was getting on somebody else's case, and nobody was kind of getting catty with one another or turning against each other. We just kind of took it in stride, and everybody kind of continued to maintain a positive attitude as long as we could. And admittedly, that was really hard to do, but I think that attitude and that tone kind of set the precedent for this season as well. So, people that come and play on this team, and even if they leave or they stay, I mean, people, you kind of know, we make it a point to have everybody feel welcome when they get here, and we don't put up with drama. We don't do the catty BS that a lot of women's teams do, and it's true. We don't. We're very low maintenance.
On the name.
So yeah. So I think that actually is going to pay dividends this year, as opposed to last season when it really didn't. I think this year it's going to pay off.
Well, last year you guys did have one. Well, you had a little bright spot. You had a nice little 3-game winning streak in the middle of the season, and then a 3-0 victory against. I'm trying to make some positive here. I guess you know what? I'm just gonna move on then. I tried. I tried. Let's talk about some players who stood out last season for you guys, and some players standing out this year as well. We'll start with you first, Aurelio. Who are some players that are standing out this year and stood out last year?
Last year, I'd say Jackson, and she had some great games. Also, Ohai, great games and great goals. And Messer, she was kind of leader for us, especially at the end of the season. That was kind of growing thing. This season, I hope Ohai will continue to do the work she's been doing so far. Also, McDonald now, she can be a top scorer for us, hopefully, with Ohai together up front. Messer too, and Exxon, I like her, what I saw from her so far.
And let's go with you, Luke. Who are some players you think did good last year and are looking good this season for Houston?
Yeah, I mean, I mostly agree. I was sorry that Brittany Bach got injured again so quickly, because I've been a fan of hers for a long time, and I kind of wanted to see that whole Bach-Edwards kind of combination again. Yeah. And now we don't get to see it this either because she's left. So Becky Edwards has left. So who else? I'm looking at my notes here. Teresa Niola had that one amazing game. I think it was against Boston or somebody.
In Boston, yeah,
where she just kind of took the game on and just took it by the scruff of the neck, and I loved that. That was like the first time the Dash had really kind of blossomed and won a game in that kind of style. So that was terrific.
Awesome.
I'm going to say Rachel Axon this year because she's English, and so she's obviously
and from London. She's
And from
But Dee is a
London.
Chelsea fan, so
Oh, jeez.
pride of London.
I was so ready to like her.
Yep.
She's got a good personality.
That would be a plus. I think she went to Oregon State.
She did.
So that's good. Actually, Stephanie has been one of my favorite players, so I'm kind of pissed that you're injured.
I am too.
You've played like 4 or 5 different positions over the years, which is crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts.
But yeah, and I was saying to you earlier, Dee, that somebody described Ellie Brush, or what's her first name?
Yeah.
Ellie Brush.
Ellie Brush, as a wall in the Australian Women's League, that she was just such a hardcore defender.
Yeah.
So,
Was she defender of the year last year?
Yeah, she Rainey came up to me and was like asking me about her, and that's the first thing that comes to mind. Not necessarily like a wall, but she's definitely she's a gritty player. And I mean, I was telling Haley earlier, you kind of look at her and she's not super tall and, not super like athletic looking, but she will get stuck into any tackle, and she wins so many headers. I remember in Australia, I usually would take the corners, and she would come up on corners, and I would just aim for her head, because she's not super tall, but she somehow would get up and just get a head on it no matter what. And that kind of speaks to her character. She's just one of those like hard-nosed fighters, and I'm really excited to see how she does here.
so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, and this is one of those years again where with the World Cup going on, that there's potential for so many players to come through and shine, and that it makes me want to watch all the games even more.
Yeah.
And let's go over to Sierra.
For the Dash last season, I feel like you guys are really stacked defensively. I mean, like, it didn't always show it in the scoreline, but you guys just had so much talent back there, and I mean, you guys obviously had to have a midfield and a front line as well, and the possession thing was obviously a huge factor, and the defense struggling on not getting scored on, and offensively, Ojai was a really big pickup for you guys in the expansion draft. This season, I think that I agree with everybody pretty much. McDonald is really big to look out for because she played so well with the Thorns. And then, like, Alex Morgan was injured a lot last season, and she was kind of the one that filled in for her. So, I mean, being more of a starter for the Dash, she'll definitely fill that role as a striker and scoring goals. I mean, she's shown it already, so, I mean, she'll continue to show it, hopefully.
Yeah, for me, like you said, it seemed like last season definitely with players it would be like Ojai stood out, Ella Massar, McCarty even chipped in a couple of goals. And if I'm looking forward, like already this season, you can already see that Ojai has improved a lot. She's major for the team. It seems like good getting forward. McDonald's going to make a real impact as a new player. If we look at some of those, and Axon, just experience she's going to bring. Even though she's a Chelsea fan, I don't like her now. Tony Presley, and like I say, Ellie Brush, that should actually help your defense a lot more. But yeah, I mean, God, it seems like the Dash. It was a team we really were high on. We talked about them in the preview. There's just so many players that we really like with this team. And I guess we can look at some of the players that we expect really to have a great season. That will lead on to, I can go back to McDonald again because how many goals she scored, and she seems like a good target when it comes to crosses and stuff. Also, I feel like McCarty's going to have a better season. How about you, Luke? Who are some players you think are going to really stand out to help this team go forward?
I don't know that I can say anything that anyone else hasn't said. I'm hoping that Jess has another great year. There's the conspiracy theories abound in Portland about why she wasn't kept, and It's just the way it is. But you know, we always wish our ex-players well. So I hope she scores 20 goals this year, just not against Portland.
Just not against Portland. Really, are there any rookies you're looking out for?
I like what I see so far from Jen Lacombe. She's a very good defender. She can help attacking too. And of course, McDonald again. I mean, the impact she's already doing some huge impact for us, scoring goals, and proving she can do much more during the whole season.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, wow, we actually hit on everything we needed, really, for the most part. This was a fun little spotlight, it looks like, I feel like. Now it's like we hit everything, like, while we were doing it, and I was like, wow, that's that, I better think up something real quick. Actually, we haven't talked about this yet. We haven't talked about, really, you can go check for some questions real quick while I do this. Let's look at our outlook for 2015, where we think Houston Dash are going to end up. We will start with you first, Sierra. Where do you see this Houston Dash ending their season?
I mean, I think that Houston are definitely one of the best off without their national team players, and like there's going to be a lot of games without them, so they're going to accumulate those points during that time period. And I definitely think that they're a playoff team this season, just looking at how other teams are performing compared to last season. I mean, like FCKC and Seattle are not performing at all like they were last season, and Seattle still has most of their players, as much as I hate to say it as a Seattle fan. But I definitely think they're a playoff team, and especially once like the season goes on, just I don't really know what the schedule is like, but depending on who they play, and as long as they keep their defensive line as strong as they have, they're definitely going to advance.
Let's go back to you, Luke. Where do you see this team ending up at the end of the year?
Yeah, that's a really hard question. I've been struck so much this year by how much parity there is in the league now that I feel like any team can beat any other team on any given day. Seattle was absolutely not able to keep up that sort of ridiculous level of performance that they had last year, and other teams have come up. So, you know, I think that the Dash could finish anywhere from 3rd to 7th. That's as precise as I can be.
So as long as they're under Portland, you're happy, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, that sounds good. Really, where do you see the Dash ending up this season?
Oh, I see some very good fight for the top 4 finish. But as a fan, I'm just going to say that I hope the Dash finish first. They win the league. I really want to see that happening. Maybe they can beat Portland in the final, right? Look.
A Portland Dash final. The Dash.
At least that will mean it will be played on a proper field in a proper stadium, right, Aurelia?
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying, we've got grass.
Oh my God.
And Haley, and Stephanie, where do you see your team ending up at the end of the year?
Definitely, I mean, playoffs.
Look at it, it's just a head.
Another special guest.
Another special guest, guys, right there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think playoffs. You know, I think that's totally realistic. I mean, anything beyond that, we kind of take one step at a time. Can you say hi? Can you say hi?
Hey.
Hi. But yeah, I mean, you know, we kind of take things one step at a time, but I think playoffs is kind of our goal, and I think it's totally realistic. And then beyond that, you know, we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think obviously after last season we came in really hungry to have better results, and I think for now we just, like Haley said, want to focus on making playoffs and sorry, I can't take it seriously. Harper, where are we going to finish in the league?
Harper, are we going to win the league?
Who is that?
He's unimpressed right now.
Yeah.
He's unimpressed.
He listens to soccer talk all the time, so he's over it.
Okay, all right, understandable. All right, I guess it's my turn. Where do I see this Houston Dash team headed? Well, I remember what I said at the beginning of the year when we did the NWSL preview. I said I could see this team actually going all the way to fighting in the championship. So I'm gonna stick by that, and I'm not just saying that because I feel like there's pressure and people watching me right now. I'm gonna stick by that because I actually feel like it's a really good side. It's just a lot of good pieces, and I love how they play. I feel like their defense should be shored up a bit more this year. They really learn how to play more. They'll be cohesive this year. Won't be a lot of changes, hopefully. And like I said, I really think they can compete with some of the top teams in this league. Chicago really shocked me as being a really competitive team this year, but that's just another one of those sides I feel like, once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen, I'll say. So we'll see how it goes. But, yeah, I really think Houston can make a real nice run this year. Let's go to a few questions, I guess. If you guys have a question for players, Luke, do you have a question? Non-Portland related.
You, D?
Do I?
No. Do I have a question for you or for whom?
No, not for me. I don't want to answer any questions. For Haley or Stephanie, do you have any questions?
Oh, these guys. Oh, was that my homework? Damn. Hang on.
People don't read these notes. I see. This is what I deal with every week. No, it's fine.
Okay, this one's for Stephanie. Stephanie, what's your preferred position if you could play any position?
I think I'll always be a forward at heart. I definitely miss it a lot when I play here. Obviously, this year, Randy put me at center back, and that kind of really limited my offensive freedom, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
I really miss dribbling at people, taking people on, and shooting and stuff. So yeah, I would say playing up front, but I was pleasantly surprised how much I liked playing defender. It just helps to see the game a different way, and makes you better. So.
Right. That seems like what Ella Mesa said too. I think I read her say that.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot because the first practice that she was put at outside back, she just comes up to me and she's like, "What is going on?" And I was like, "I know how you feel." So you feel so weird, especially that first game you played because the whole field is flipped around for you, and all of a sudden you can see everything, and you don't have your back to goal all the time, and I don't know, it's completely different, but it's.
People aren't going to believe this happened. Max is the weirdest dog ever. If Ella ever sees this podcast, she's going to be very upset with me for telling everybody that Max is weird.
Little dog became a celebrity overnight right now. There you go. So Rulio, do you have a question for Stephanie or Haley?
I want to know if they have any funny locker room stories to tell us.
Any funny locker room stories?
Where do we start? What is appropriate? Where do we draw the line?
Oh, God.
I mean, everybody dances in the locker room. Brittany Bott likes to dance in the locker room.
Who's the best dancer?
That might be kind of a toss-up.
I don't know.
But Brittany Bott tries.
Yeah.
She tries.
We haven't had a dance off yet. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to think of a specific story, but I don't know. We just are talking crap all the time.
Well, that's true.
The amount of insults I make to Ella on a daily basis ridiculous. We just talk crap to each other all day, just because.
Mostly about her tiny hands. She has
and when she hurt her nose, obviously I was the one to kick the ball at her face. And she was giving me so much crap that I still haven't lived it down. She just, anytime something happened, she's like, "Well, you broke my nose, so I can't say anything." I'm just like, okay.
Oh man! All right, Sierra, you have a question for him?
I guess just beyond the funny stuff, how's recovery going for you, Stephanie?
Sorry, what did you say? There was a
How's
scream.
recovery going?
It's going really well. I got the surgery like a little over 2 weeks ago, and I'm on crutches already and moving around well, which is good. It's a tough process, you know. I keep telling everyone it's so hard to watch like my quad just like shrink. I'm like, where are you going? But luckily I have like a good team of people helping me, and like we get to use all the stuff that the Dynamo uses. So I'll do rehab and then go into the gym and then be able to do different stuff. And I don't know, it's good because I can stay active even though obviously I can't play. But I mean, I miss it a lot, obviously. But yeah, it hasn't been too bad so far.
She's doing really well. What she's saying is an understatement. Seriously, this is the best recovery I've ever seen of anyone that tore the ACL. So she's underplaying this quite a bit.
It's because I do nothing. I literally do rehab. I come home and binge watch Nashville and other TV shows. Just put my leg up and put some ice on it. I'm like, this is great. Got this dinner.
So funny. I was just too like distracted back there, like watching the dog and look at jump in the bed, then the dog. I'm like, oh, something's about to happen good back there. Let's see what happens. But it was good. It was good, guys. All right. Well, I guess I can take us home and wrap this up.
This is my life, though. This is what he's everywhere. I don't go anywhere with. He's everywhere.
Oh, nicely done. Nicely done. All right. Well, first off, we want to thank you girls for actually coming on, and we really appreciate it. This little show. This little show was nothing to begin with, but at least you came on, so we could.
Absolutely.
Help this out a little bit, you know. We won't get cut off.
I think it's important. I think it's important for things like this to kind of take off, you know. And Steph was like, I didn't even know things like this existed, you know. And I think it's important. You know, we're trying to grow the women's soccer community, and I think that by supporting things like this, like that's a step in the right direction. So I think the more players you can get to participate in something like this, and if you want more players, let me know, and I'll reach out to some of my friends and get them on. You know, because most of us are, you know, all about this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of, you know, I really feel like we're the most accessible professional athletes out there. So I think, you know, it matters to us to grow the sport more than anything else. So I think that, you know, it's our kind of responsibility. Do things like that.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and we'll definitely keep in touch with you. Thank you, Haley, and thank you for bringing an extra guest for us. Stephanie, we hope you get well soon and you heal up all right. Bye. Look at that. I love it. Thank you for being on. We appreciate, you know, even though you were hurt a little bit, I'm glad you made it. Look at the top. This is how the show normally ends, too. So them doing this is like nothing new. This is normal for us. Thank you, Aurelio. Thank you, Sierra.
Can I...
Well, that's another episode of Off the
Can
Post.
I say something first?
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I just want to tell Stephanie, I hope she comes back on the field as soon as possible. And
Me too.
they both can get more seasons with the Dash and more playing time. And it was nice, really nice to have Dash players on.
Thanks for having us, guys. We really enjoyed it.
No problem. All right, Aurelio, you can stop fanboying now. All right.
I'll try.
We're done. We're done. Okay. Well, as you can see, it's madness happening over there, and the rest of us are going to go to bed pretty soon. I'm your host. I'm your host, DJ, trying to get out of all this mess. Red Cap Fred Durst always. Keep it turned to the back. We are done. I'm going to end this before anything else happens. I am just, yes, have a great Memorial Day. Is it Memorial? Yeah, Labor Day, Memorial Day, all the same to me. Have a good weekend, you know.